So, we have maintained some of the details like personal detail, address, and certain fields like work contract, business area, admin, admin group, organizational key. We have also checked in the forms of address, Mr., Mrs., and Indian forms of address like Sri, Srimati, or some European forms of address or South American forms of address. Whatever is required, you will work as per the requirement in the project. We have checked all these things. We have also maintained union, labor union, and others also. We have maintained and checked. Today, we're going to talk about contract elements. Contract elements. So, contract elements specifies the contract details of an employee with the organization. You can specify whether an employee is a permanent employee or a contract employee. So contract employees, we can use info type IT0016, IT0016, info type 16 for contract elements. So it is applicable for contract employees, contract employees, as well as permanent employees. So it specifies certain things like validity period, contract validity period, contract validity period, or probation, probation period, or notice period, employee notice period, notice period with the company, with the company, or employer notice period. Type of contract. All these things can be specified. Type of contract. What type of contract you are talking about? And notice period, employee notice period with the employee. Meaning employee notice period with the company, meaning employee wants to leave the company, wants to resign. So the employee has to serve a notice period. For example, he wants to resign today and today he cannot, should not resign technically. So he needs to serve a notice period. Now that notice period depends on the company and the policy. So it may be 1 month or 15 days or 2 months or 3 months, depends on the company. Employee employer notice period, meaning the company wants to terminate employee due to some reason, any reason. A reason is not important. Now the company should give a notice period in advance, maybe 10 days, 15 days, or 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. If it's not, doesn't come want to keep that long, and the company has to pay the employee for the period of notice. So these are the details you are trying to maintain in infotype 16, for example. So you can specify, you can specify, say, some fixed term contract, fixed term contract, or some third party contract, or similar things. These are the examples I'm giving. These are nothing but the examples of the contract. Examples. Third party contract and other contract details you want to maintain. Also, you want to maintain notice period. Notice period, which is valid, which is valid in the organization. Doesn't matter. It can be employee note, employer notice, or employee notice. So you can maintain like employee notice or employer notice, notice, etc. You can maintain, and there can be more than one employee notice for different type of employee groups. These are the nothing but just some examples. Employer notice period, say 01, and employer notice period 02. These are the some of the examples you can specify, and we can default the values. You can default the values so that system should, there may be, you can maintain manually, you can maintain manually, or system should, you can maintain manually, or you can design the system so that system should, the system should automatically automatically populate the values. And you can use some, we have been using a lot of features for now. You are familiar with the numker feature, pinch feature, IG mod feature, VDSK1 feature. You are familiar with all these features, and you can also talk about contr feature for contract elements. Contr feature. Here you need to observe certain things. System by default values you can specify like 010, 01, 011, 012, and 013. You need to specify these values. Okay, so this is one thing. 010 specifies 010 specifies days. This is weeks. 012 months. 014 years. What does it mean? 010 is specifying days, whatever default values you are maintaining in the contr feature. If you are typing say 012, it means for months you will type 012. Otherwise system cannot understand. To make the system understand, you have to use like this code 011, meaning weeks. You can specify like that. Okay, this is all about contract elements. This is all about contract elements. Next thing you are talking about is monitoring of tasks. You can specify info type 0019. Earlier also we have talked about it and we have noted down this info type. What is this info type? This is monitoring of tasks. Monitoring of tasks. So monitoring of tasks, what is this? It is a reminder. It's like a reminder. What reminder? There are a lot of HR activities going on. Lot of HR activities going on in the company. Now there are certain things that needs to be reminded or worked on. You need to work on. So whatever work or a reminder required is specified by monitoring tasks. What are those HR activities or what needs to be reminded? Say in your company, an employee is getting um, retired. He's retiring maybe next year or in 6 months or 3 months. He's retiring in 3 months, for example. For example, retirement. Retirement. So as an HR, you need to perform certain activities. You have to maintain some forms. You have to ask the employees to fill certain forms and do sign signature, and you want to do other activities, or you want to maintain pension details and other things you want to perform, or not so important activities like farewell or something. These kind of activities need to, because the employee is retiring. When do you want to do? He's retiring in 3 months and today you need to be reminded. How do you maintain? This is the reminder. Info type 19, reminder. Because you want to perform certain activities and as an HR before the employee is retired. All right. So it's not always before. You are doing some work before an event. So on the event, you should be reminded on the event, and after an event, you need to be reminded. So today it has to be maintained. Some test has to be taken by the employee. You can remind today before an event, for example, retirement activity that we talked. After an event, employee has to fill the PMS, performance review, self-assessment review. He has done. He has not done yet. Today is the last day, and you will wait maybe for a week, and after a week you need to take an action, some action. You need to tell the employee, or you want to close the form, or you want to do something. What you want to do is secondary, but this is an after the event. So not only before an event you are working on a specific activity on the same date or after the date also you are maintaining, which is called the lead time. You can call it as the lead time. Lead time plus meaning plus meaning this one after the an event, after the event or deadline. Some deadline has to be met. The employee has not done, then you have to take some action after the deadline, after the deadline. So you're using plus. Minus, you're using minus in order to maintain before before deadline, before the deadline, before the deadline. Example, retirement. You need to work before the employee, maybe for pension if it's applicable, or blank. You can click blank. Blank specifies standard lead time. What is standard lead time? On the same day, like this, on the event, standard lead time. So this info type 0016 and info type 0019, info type 0016 and 0019 are related info types. How? Meaning whenever you are doing any activity in info type 16, info type 19 need to be updated. 16 contract elements that we just talked about today, contract elements, and info type 19 monitoring tasks. These are dependent, meaning if you are creating, if you are creating or modifying or changing, modifying or deleting, create, modifying, deleting, info type 19. When you are doing in 16, info type 19 is ready for input based on what you have done, deleted, modified, or created. So these two info types are related. But yesterday what we have done independently. We have created data independent of, there is no dependency. But here we are doing the same thing today also, but there is a certain amount of dependency. You are talking about certain amount of dependency. Okay, so what I will do is I will log into the SAP system and we will go ahead with the configuration of whatever we have maintained. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm going to SPRO SAP reference IMG, and I'm going for personal management. Like always, we're going to the personal management. Then you are going to personal administration. You can see contractual and corporate agreements. Contractual and corporate agreements. You can expand the node, the tree structure. Then you can go to contract elements. Here you can go to define contract types. Define contract types. You are going to that node next to define contract types. Okay, so this contract type is a two-digit alphanumeric code. Two-digit alphanumeric code. What I will do is I'll go for new entries and I'll type 41. I'll type 41. For 41, what I'll do is I'll maintain, for example, GVC fixed term contract, fixed term contract, and I'll maintain this checkbox. I'm going for another 42. I'll maintain, for example, GVC regular contract, and I will not maintain this checkbox. For example, I save it. I've saved it. I will create as many required further. In this classroom, I'm not creating because I'm creating only sample data. Whatever is bare minimum and essential, that's what I'm creating here. I created two contract types called 41 and 42. GVC fixed term contract or third party contract. I can create more like third party contract or external manager contract or external outside consultant contracts. Like this I can go on creating, and regular contract. When I tick this checkbox, it meaning it specifies a definite start and end period. If I don't check it, there is no definite end for the contract. Regular contract, or I can say simply I can type regular. There is no problem. I can type regular, GVC regular, and not my name. Why I'm doing that? I'm not ticking. If it's regular, there need not be a contract end date. Contract end date for contract employees, for example. Employees working in the company for 6 months, or for he should work for 1 year. It may be extended, of course, but the contract period has a end date, validity period. If there is no end date, I will not maintain this checkbox. Doesn't matter what I type here. The meaning is specified. What's important is the code, two-digit code, and this checkbox. You can save and go back. You can go back. You're coming back to this node. Next, what I will do is determine periods of notice. determine periods of notice. Here I'm clicking on this. This is also 2-digit alphanumeric code. So as we discussed, we have to specify the periods of notice. What is periods of notice? For example, employee wants to leave the company. Employee should serve for certain period of time. Today, if you wish, you just cannot go out. I'll go for new entries. I'm specifying 7-1. I'm specifying 7-1. And you can write something like uh, some text like any 8 weeks. For example, I'm typing 8 weeks. 8 weeks. Another code I'm taking 7272. I'm specifying say 12 weeks. I can create more, say 10 weeks or 1 month, like that I can create for different requirements, and I'm saving it. I can save it. This is done. I'm creating 8 weeks, 12 weeks. It can be anything, 8 weeks for employee, or it can be for the company, or I can create others like 10 weeks or 1 month or 2 months notice period for different group of employees. But you know how to create now. You can create like this. It's a unique code. It is a unique code. Periods of notice. You can save and you can go back. You can go back again. Now what I will do is I'll go for this node. Determine default determine default contract elements. Determine default contract elements. I'll click here. It's nothing but a features you've been working with. contr feature. Now this feature logic is made with T class. We can see here T class or transaction class for data retention. We also know that T class can be three types: A, B, T. A meaning for master data, time data; B applicant data; T shift schedule. We are configuring for PA module, personal administration module. So I am going for A. Country grouping, Molga country grouping. For India, it is already created. If it's not created, that's fine. I have created other values, so I can maintain like this. For Hong Kong, some value is maintained. You can see value maintained for Hong Kong. What I will do is I'll create for India again, because other India value was existing, but it is other value. So what I will do is I'll go for India again. 40 India, click enter, and you can maintain some further logic. You can maintain, I can maintain direct value. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm maintaining, for example, 35. I'm maintaining some 35 slash 010 hyphen 3 slash 012 hyphen 6 slash 012 hyphen 35 R. um, or you can maintain, say, give me 1 second, whatever we can figure. We can maintain, for example, you're maintaining some 4 1 4 1 or 7 1 7 2. What we have created, what we have created now, 7 1. Let me maintain 7 1 hyphen 7 2 hyphen 4 1. Okay, what I will do is, let me copy this code and we can try to understand what I am doing there. Let me type and paste at the notepad. I have copied and pasted this in notepad. I'm clicking on transfer. This is the code I have maintained. I'm activating the feature. This is activated. Let's go back to the notepad and let's understand what I've done there. Or you can check it here. Let me go back to the notepad and then we will try to understand what I'm trying to do there. It's important that you understand that. All right. So let me share the screen again. Okay, this is what I've done. This is what I've done in the feature. This is what I have typed there just now. Let's come back to this feature and I'm typing here. This is what I've done. This 35 I have typed, for example, 35. So how do I understand this code? Simply, it looks very complicated, but it is not. First, I'll try to segregate, divide it. So hyphen is a separate value. These, you see the hyphens in between, these are separate values. Meaning 41 is separate value, 72 is separate value, 71 is separate value. But 6/012 is one value, 3/012 another value, 35/101. So when there is a hyphen, separate value, separate value. When you are saying slash, part of the expression. All right, 35. What is this? So after slash, whatever is coming, you already know this. 010 meaning days, 011 weeks, 012 months, 013 years. Meaning 35/010 is nothing but 35 days. Why days? Because of this 35 days. This is one expression. Then hyphen is there. Okay, that is fine. You are saying 35 days, but what is that 35 days? It is nothing but continued pay. It is nothing but continued pay. Let me type this. Whatever I'm typing here, I'm continued pay. Continued pay. Next, 35 days. You already know days. Next, 3/012 meaning 3 months. 012 meaning 3 months. 3 months, fine. 3 months, fine. But what is that 3 months? 3 months is nothing but Sick pay supplement. Sick pay supplement. Sick pay supplement period specifies the period in which the employer pays the employee and the sickness supplement is paid. Continued pay and other values you are specifying. The period is actually beginning at the start of during the continued pay period. Okay. Next is 6. What is this? 6. 6012 months. 6 months. Okay. 6 months is all right. But what is that 6 months? 6 months. It is nothing but probationary period. Probationary period. If such a thing exists in the company, then that is the probationary period. Okay. Then what is 71 and 72 and 73? If you remember, just a few minutes ago, we have created 71, 72, 73. 71 is employer notice period. We created it. Employer notice period. 72 employee notice period. Last one is 41 also we created, and it's nothing but contract type. 41 we created. Whatever I created, I'm typing here as a code. Okay, you can log out and log in after 15 minutes.